Okay, so what if I told you that you could get a near perfect score on a major English test without actually having perfect English? Well, in this explainer, we're looking at a source that claims to have completely cracked the code for the Pearson Test of English, or PTE. And the secret? It's not about mastering the language, it's about mastering the AI that grades you. Let's see how they pulled it off.
I mean, look at this claim. Simple tricks to score high, no English skills needed. That is a seriously bold statement. It basically throws the whole idea of standardized testing out the window. The argument is, you don't need to be a grammar whiz. You just need to know the formula.
And to prove it's not just talk, here's the overall score the creator got: an 85 out of 90. For a lot of people, that's a life-changing score. We're talking major points for things like visas or residency applications. So the question is, how on earth did they do it? Well, the whole philosophy behind this is actually pretty simple. You have to remember you're not trying to impress a human being who can appreciate nuance and clever phrasing. Nope, you are performing for an AI. And this AI, according to our source, is just looking for very specific, very predictable patterns. So how do you beat the machine? The source gives us 7 specific strategies to game the system. We're going to walk through all of them, and you'll see how they're all designed to give the AI exactly what it's programmed to want. Seriously, think of it less like an exam and more like a video game where someone just handed you all the cheat codes. All right, let's kick things off with the speaking section. Now, the number one rule here, the golden rule, is that the AI cares about fluency way more than anything else. It wants to hear consistent, fluid speech. It doesn't really care if your grammar is a little shaky, as long as you don't stop or hesitate. And check this out. The most important part of the entire speaking section is this one task called Read Aloud. Just look at how much it's worth. It makes up 1/3 of your speaking score and more than 1/4 of your reading score. So if you can nail this one task, you're already way ahead in 2 different sections of the test. So this is the crucial part, right? How do you absolutely crush this super important section? Do you need perfect pronunciation? Do you need to understand every word? Well, according to this strategy, not at all. That's it. Seriously, that is the entire secret. The strategy is to just read the paragraph they give you as fast as you can without stumbling. No dramatic pauses, no going back to correct yourself, just pure, clean speed. And does it actually work? Well, in the demo, following that one simple rule, just speak fast and clear, they scored an 88 out of 90. You can't really argue with that. The AI loved it. And that same logic, it carries right over to the next speaking task, describe image. They show you a chart, and you've got 40 seconds to explain what you see. And once again, the source insists the AI is not testing if you can analyze data. It's just testing your fluency. And to guarantee that fluency, you use a formula. Every single time you start with a memorized intro so you're not wasting time thinking. Then you literally just read every single keyword, label, and number you see on the screen. And you wrap it all up with a generic memorized closing line. And the score for this totally robotic, template-based description, an 81 out of 90. See, the AI isn't looking for brilliant insights. It's just ticking boxes. Did they speak fluently? Did they use the keywords? Yes and yes. Perfect. Okay, so what about writing? Surely this is where you need to show deep, critical thinking, right? Where you have to build a strong argument? Well, get ready for what the source calls the copy-paste essay. So here it is. A super rigid 4-paragraph template. You basically memorize this structure, and when you get into the test, you just plug in the keywords from the essay prompt. You even make up a quick example. It doesn't have to be real, it just has to fit the template. The absolute most important thing is to stay inside that 200 to 300 word count. And the score for this formulaic essay, 14.4 out of 15. And what's wild is that the source even admits they made a few grammar mistakes in their example. But because the structure was perfect and the word count was right, the AI gave it an almost perfect score anyway. This whole copy-paste idea doesn't even stop with the essay. It gets even more blatant with the summary tasks. First up is Summarise Written Text, which, yeah, you can do without really reading. You're not going to believe this formula. You literally just find any complete sentence in the paragraph and copy it word for word. Then you type the word "and." Then you find another complete sentence, and you copy that one too. You just make sure to fix the punctuation so it looks like one long sentence, and you're done. No understanding required. And what score do you get for this incredibly simple copy-paste job? A perfect 7 out of 7.
It's pretty clear the AI is just checking for a grammatically correct sentence that uses words from the text, not an actual summary. It's basically the same deal when you have to summarize a short lecture you listen to. The goal isn't really to understand the speaker's point, it's just to capture their key words. The strategy is almost identical to the others. While the lecture is playing, you just scribble down as many key nouns and verbs as you can possibly catch. Then, you plug all those keywords into a pre-memorized sentence template. The key here is just making sure you hit that 50 to 70 word count. And at this point, you can probably guess the result. The source tries this technique out and gets another perfect score, 10 out of 10. You're not trying to be smart, you're just feeding the machine the exact kind of data it's programmed to look for. So, apart from all these very specific task-by-task hacks, the source gives a few final big picture tips to bring it all home. And the advice here is really straightforward. First, you have to practice these formulas over and over until they become muscle memory. Second, always double-check your writing, because the AI will punish you for simple typos. And finally, you've got to stay calm. If you get nervous, you'll forget the formulas, and the formulas are the whole key to this system. And all of this really brings us to one big final question. We've just walked through a whole system designed to game an AI grader. So, does beating the system this way still prove you're proficient in English? Or do these hacks just expose a massive flaw in using AI to measure something as complex and human as language? That's the big idea I want to leave you with.